share screen. And where are we here? Oh, there we go. Play. There you go. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Today, if you're watching, is September, was it 9th, 10th? What day?
Ninth.
9th. Okay. It's like forgot I lost track of days. So September 9th, 2025. But of course, this is good information anytime. So we're going to go over some ideas for yourself or how to handle clients that are looking to fix and flip, to find some investment properties, to fix them up and resell them, or so we're going to give you some things that you give it some tips. And I think in the video, I don't want to jump ahead, Deb. We have like do we have anything like certain classes that they could take on 21 Online? Did I see that or no?
Not, I don't have those on here, but I'm going to talk about them
Okay,
because
good.
definitely we do.
Okay,
Take,
just want to make sure I didn't want to jump the gun, so they hear that like we'll have more information and other things that you could go to learn more about this topic. So, but we
yeah,
will
for sure. These,
jump
go
right
back
in.
to those
Oh,
pictures for
oh
a
yeah.
second. So these pictures, it's the same room, right? How did I get it to look remodeled? Take a guess. I took the picture of the house that's old and drab and I put it somewhere. Where did I put it?
I don't know.
Chat GPT.
And it did
I
that
threw
all
this photo
automatically.
into I threw it into Chat GPT and I said,
Uh-huh.
"Could you please make this room more modern?" And
There
that's what
you
they
go.
did. They changed the color of the cabinets, they changed the countertops and everything. So the reason why I bring this up is because if you have someone or if you as a real estate agent want to get into this, but you're not really sure how things are going to look, use Chat GPT. I'm doing it for my own house right now because I want to change the walls, the floors, and the cabinets, right? So I'm throwing pictures in there and I'm putting in different colors to see what's going to look better. Better to do it that way than to find out after you spend lots of money on the flooring and the cabinets and stuff that it doesn't jive, right? And the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of agents or even people for that matter, this is the newest thing. Everybody wants to fix and flip right off the bat. So do your research. And if you take a little bit of time and use AI to see if your vision is truly what it's supposed to be. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Complete sense.
It's going to save you and your clients a lot more money, right? So,
Definitely the whole point of the whole video today.
yeah, because property flipping can be profitable, right? And it's really a good investment strategy if it's done right. So here we're going to go through a few things on what you can do to do that. And of course, the very first thing is research and education. Understand your market, understand the neighborhoods, the property values, the trends in the area, learn about the real estate laws and regulations for that area. Because maybe if it's not you and it's your client, you still need to know all of this stuff, right? So
Mhm.
that you can advise them correctly. Because if somebody wants to put a single family home into a two family so that they can have two different units, are they actually allowed to do that?
Right,
Well,
right.
you got to contact the zoning department and find out what the zoning is there. Um, Make sure that you have a business plan. So define your goals on paper, your budget, and your timeline. Determine the type of property that you want to invest in. Do you want to do multifamilies or do you want to do just single families to
Right.
start? Most people want to jump right into the multifamily thing, but there's a lot involved in that, and especially the money factor, right?
Hmm.
So determine on whether you want to fix it or flip it or use it and flip it or use it as a rental property. The financial planning part is what I was kind of talking about a little bit. Set your budget so that you know where you are going to be, right? Include the property price when you're doing that. That's the acquisition of the property, how much the renovation cost is going to be, and the carrying costs, which a lot of people forget about that part. How much is the gas bill every month? How much is the electric bill every month? Because until you either have a tenant in there or you sell it to someone else, you have to pay for all of that, right? So you got to make sure you understand that. Also, calculate the repair value, the after repair value, I'm sorry, the ARV to see a
Mhm.
potential profit. Now, on this page, I've just talked about a few different things, and maybe your head's going, what in the world is she talking about, right?
Uh,
Study.
right.
Go to Hondros, take their investment class, go to the CE shop, take their investment class. All of this stuff will make sense to you if you spend a little time and learn about it, right?
Right. This is just a little teaser.
It is definitely. I'm not here to tell you how to do it because I'm not a flipper. I know the ins and outs of what you have to do and stuff like that, but it's not my thing.
Mm.
Here is something that I use with my other job, appraisal, and this is something that anybody can get.
Hmm.
If you are a Homestar agent, I can send this to you. If you're one of our Homestar agents that's been with us in the that transferred over in the last couple years, you have it. It's in your agent access folder. And this is the most updated version. It shows Cleveland, Ohio stats for cost versus value. There's also a national one in this this is like a program, a profile,
Hmm.
a pamphlet, I'm sorry. And there's national, and then there's also just our areas. And it's something for you all to look at because when someone says, well, I'm going to dump all this money into this house so I can get X amount of money back out, are you really going to do it?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
the return on your value, right?
Right.
So this shows you what your numbers are, that you're not going to very rarely get 100% of your money back out. Why do you think that is, Tony? That you don't get all your money back out?
Well, just the cost of basically the cost of materials, the cost of labor, it just and if you're trying to do it right away, that's why some people sit on the properties and rent them out and try to wait to, the values go up a little bit more. But yeah, you have to get a good deal on a good house to get exactly out what you put into it, right? Is that a good enough answer? But I know you'll add better stuff to
Yeah,
that.
that is a good answer, because that goes back to writing down all your numbers and don't just willy-nilly buy a property and then figure out what you're going to do with it later. Figure out if it's going to be profitable, right? So, if you want to use, we'll just use Euclid as an example. You get a bungalow in Euclid, and I don't know what the prices are now because I'm not paying attention to them, but before COVID, you could buy a bungalow in Euclid for $75,000. Throw $20,000 into it, and then you can sell it for 100 or 110 or 130. Most investors that are fixing and flipping want to get at least 30% value back, or profit on top of it. That's after all their costs and stuff. That number I do know. That's a tight number right now because of the price of the houses and also because of the cost of all of the materials that have gone up. So
Yeah,
do your research and figure out, is if you don't get 30 and you only get 20, is that still going to be good enough for you?
right. And this is like a lot of times agents or just newbie investors, they don't understand that the cost of being new. Like example, like sometimes you look at when you're building a house, the price per square foot is a lot lower than remodeling a house. Number one of the top reasons why is because the cost of goods. When you're building a house, usually builders have more than one house going up. They're buying materials at bulk. They have
Yes.
employees that they're paying hourly wages to. But when you remodel your house, you need to pay someone that wants to make a profit, and the materials that they're charging you are material for material. They're going to Home Depot and they're getting regular pricing. They're not getting wholesale pricing on any type of materials and things like that. So the cost of service. So some of the investors that are experienced investors, so I guess I'll jump into that. My feeling is that if you get an investor that wants to fix and flip and they're brand new, you got to be extra careful. If they don't know anything, they're like, oh, I heard this is great. And they don't know, they don't have anybody that they know that it's going to do the repairs. They're just going to go try to hire somebody. They have no idea what the cost of any of this stuff is. And those people, unfortunately, when they're that new, get sometimes stuck in a position where they're going to actually lose money because they're not ready for it. Sometimes they watch those TV shows and think, wow, this looks easy. But those people are experienced and they know how to keep the costs low so they do make a profit. So it's very hard, in my opinion, that sometimes it's very hard for a brand new person unless you have some contacts and that like someone that could do the work for you or you do it yourself. We got a lot of people that do it themselves. That's good. But if you're trying to invest in something and you don't do any work yourself and you have no connection to any tradespeople, it might be very hard to make a profit, to flip it, right away because
That is true. The tradespeople thing is definitely a must. Um, there's nothing wrong with trying to do things yourself, uh, but just know what you're doing. Like what comes to mind to me, then this was a few years ago. We had an agent here and one of his friends, and we're talking about younger people here
right.
in their late 20s, um, that decided he was going to buy this house and flip it. Okay, great. He bought the house and he went to flip it. He put, he wanted to put a flooring in the main part of the house in the living room, dining room, kitchen area, all of those things, living room, dining room, kitchen area. That was a not normal floor for those areas. Okay. So the flooring that he picked, I'm picking on this investor because doesn't matter what his name is or anything like that, but because this is what I'm getting at, knowing what you're supposed to be doing, right? The flooring that he picked is a floor that usually goes into a basement or um, a garage. So it's got the epoxy and everything with it. There's nothing wrong with putting a floor like that into your main house if you know how to do it right. He did not. He never did the installation for this before. He laid the whole entire floor down and it never set because he didn't mix it correctly.
Right,
So, kitchen, living room, dining room, you could not walk on it because it was still tacky a month later, right?
right.
And our agent was like, what am I supposed to do with this house? He wants to sell this house now because the project came too big. And I'm like, he has to rip the floor up. Like, I don't even know how you get the epoxy off the floor,
Right,
but
right.
he has to redo the floor because it's ruined now.
Right. No,
So,
yeah, no, yeah, also that's why when you see homes in an area, or let's say there's lots of new builds, there certain styles, because why do you think builders have these certain styles? Is because that's what a majority of people are asking for. So if you go way out of the norm, like, wow, this is great flooring that no one else has, well, like there might be a reason why no one else has it,
yeah,
because most people don't want it. I mean, you might be cool and you like it, but that's why they keep the cool tones and the whites and the grays and the light beiges and the things and not painting things purple and red and all over them. So it's just one of those things. So you got to do research of what most people are looking for. Unfortunately, it's not, sometimes people just feel uncomfortable, remodeling something that doesn't look extra, extra special. But if it's extra, extra different, could be a negative thing, right? So,
yes, right. Special is one thing, very, very different and outside of the norm. You're going to wait for that special person to want to buy that kind of house.
right,
So,
right.
yeah, he ended up losing his butt on that house, just so you know. So, doing your research before you actually start the project or advising your client to do that too. Now, what people do with their houses after they buy them with us, it's not our thing. But, just in general conversations when you're talking to them and when you're looking at houses is what I'm talking about. Not going in there and saying, oh, you need to do this and this and this, because they're going to have their own idea of what they
Right.
want. But if they ask your opinion, then, if you do a little research, you can give them a little bit of advice on stuff. But
Right.
again,
I have an agent send me a picture or a link just for a cool house that was listed. I forget what city it was, but it's only in the 600 range. But the whole basement was a sound studio, and they have a stage down there playing a band. They have all the sound stuff, a really cool bar area. It's just like it's whole basement you've never even seen before, but put a lot of work into it. And my first reaction is that's cool, but unless you find somebody that wants a actual full-blown recording studio in their basement with where they could have a band play in their basement,
Yeah.
it might not have any value to them. That's like what we talk about pools, right? Some people are like, wow, I spent $100,000 putting this pool in. You're not going to get, do we have that on this list? They're probably so bad of a return investment on a pool
No,
cost.
they don't.
That'll be like way low. But you have to find someone that wants a pool and
Yeah.
wants to the upkeep and things like that. So when you even a pool in our area or most of Ohio is it could be, in other parts of the country, it's a necessity. If you don't have a pool in your backyard, at least small some because it's so hot or whatever, it's negatively affects your value. But up here, sometimes having the pool negatively, not really negatively, but doesn't add to it, something. So,
Right. It doesn't add because it's only going to be worth whatever that buyer wants. And if most of the buyers don't want to take care of that pool, then they're not going to buy that house.
right, exactly, exactly. So, next.
Do your due diligence, conduct a thorough property inspection to identify hidden issues, check for liens, encumbrances, or title issues. And I'm like, again, mostly talking to you guys so that you know what you should be doing if you want to fix and flip.
Hmm.
But you can also, like I said,
There that.
educate your clients and stuff. For renovations and repairs, develop a renovation plan and timeline, choose experienced professionals, monitor the process closely to be sure you stay on budget. So know where your money's going and who's spending it. Be aware of seasonality for market times, so you can list when the season is strong. Um, that's really important. It's a little bit better now. Like a year and a half ago, it was horrible because people were either fixing and flipping or building homes, and then all of a sudden, all of the material disappeared and they couldn't get it, right? And by the
Mhm.
time they did get it, the season was over.
Right.
So they did not get the price for their house that they wanted to get. So that's a tough one. Um, be really conscious of where you are in your season, in the year, so that you can try and figure that stuff out. Legal and tax consideration, consult a real estate attorney, an accountant, and create an LLC to insulate yourself from personal liability.
Hmm. Hmm.
Network, build relationships with contractors, other investors, and agents. There are investor um, groups that you can join on social media and stuff with agents and things like that. Going to uh, agents, I'm talking about you. If you join a BNI group, you're going to have a lot of the other vendors there that you even want to talk to, right? Because you're all in the same realm of contracting, remodeling, things like that. Have a backup plan in case your property does not sell, or and don't over leverage yourself.
Right.
As far as the where you're going to find the classes, like I said before, Hondros has some investor classes that will teach you some basic things. Uh, Century 21 has this whole certification program that you can go through. You can buy these classes individually. You don't have to pay the big bucks and buy the whole entire thing. Each one of these is its own specific class and its own designation, right? So the certified new home specialist is one, the residential construction certified is one, and the residential remodeling specialist is another one. If you are just starting out, but you want to fix and flip, take the residential remodeling specialist class. They're going to show you and tell you all the things that you need to know to be the professional, because that is what you're trying to do, right? Fix and
Right.
flip professionally. So get your education. so that you're doing it correctly. There's nothing worse than going through a house that looks great on the MLS and then you walk in and you see that the remodel was a hatchet job because it's nothing against those people. They just didn't know what they were doing, right? So their corners don't line up and the floors are all kitty wampus and things are peeling off. Nobody
Mm,
wants to buy a house like that,
nope.
right?
Nope. Or get a lot or get a really good price on it because they have to redo a lot of the work, you
If
know.
you got to redo it all. Yeah, for
Mm.
sure. So,
That's it.
there's tons
Halloween's coming
more
up.
that we could even get into with that, but that just gets your brain waves rolling, right?
Yep. Yep. There's
This one I
always
thought was really cute. We have Halloween coming up, so I got a few fun tags there. The little ghost one I thought was absolutely adorable. You can buy those already made, and they will pre-print your name and your company name and stuff on there if you do it through Etsy.
mm,
I'll guide you through your referrals through the home buying and selling process. I thought that was adorable.
no,
Or
like
what a fabulous time to buy and sell. And you got your little ghosties on there too. So there's some Halloween ones. I thought those were cute.
that's the best part about holidays. It's an opportunity for these things. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
mm,
Next week, we have Mike Ferrante doing Chat GPT and how you can work with that in your business. That's going to be a good one. If you haven't done those classes, you should learn a little bit about AI, you guys. Um, it's pretty good as long as you don't go overboard with it and stuff. You can use it for a lot of things for your business. Then we got scary home repairs that lead to delays that can lead to lawsuits with Hash. That's going to be October first Thursday in the month of October 2nd. And then core ethics with Mike. Um, and
stuff.
all of those you can go to freeohioce.com to find the links to go to those Zoom classes there.
Exactly. Good stuff. Stop sharing there. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Remember, reach out to Deb or myself, talk to Tony.net, the number two, or talk to Deb.net. We're happy to. And again, remember, if you need something right away, just text or call the office or call us directly for when you just have a few minutes kind of question. But if it's like a long question or discussion, please book that ahead of time. I always hate that when I get on the phone with an agent because I'm between calls and I only got like 5 minutes and then it's like a 15-minute. I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I mean, I'll call you
Yeah.
later on that. So that's all, folks. But thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good week. Bye
Yep. Bye bye.
bye.